My favorite new feature in FSB7 is the automatic pinning to Pinterest. I want to teach you guys how to use this system, but more importantly, to also give you my personal recommendations for actually how to use it in terms of how to best get benefits for your Amazon website and also for your Amazon sales. Now, to get to the Pinterest posting page within Fresh Store Builder, all you have to do is go to Content and then go down to Post to Pinterest. This will get you to the page you see on my screen here. Now, depending on whether you have accessed this page recently or not, and whether you have accessed Pinterest recently or not, you may see something slightly different on this page. You may still see a little green button down below that says to log in with Pinterest, and you won't see the search bar there if that is the case. One way or another, though, anytime you use this page, I've been messing around with it for a while now, and I've noticed that if you leave this page sitting here and you come back to it after a decent amount of time to where you might not be logged into Pinterest anymore, you may not be able to correctly proceed through everything that you need to do. So my first recommendation to start out with is anytime you're on this page and you haven't actively used it in a while, I would recommend just going back up to Content and clicking on the link again to revisit the page. You may also just be able to refresh it up at the top in your browser. This will just make sure that you're still logged into the Pinterest app connected with Fresh Store Builder, so all of the pinning and stuff can actually take place. With that said, all you have to do to post something on Pinterest is to find a product that you already have advertised on your website. So all you have to do is just search in this search bar here, looking for products that you have created on your website. So this actually brings me to something else I want to talk to you about before I go into showing you how this whole system actually works. That is having to do with your products here. Obviously, you have to create products in the Fresh Store Builder system to have those products showing up on your live website. So you go into products, go to add products, or maybe find products to find the different products that you want to promote on your website. Then you're creating the pages on your site for those different products automatically through the system. I would highly recommend that before you even think about doing anything with Pinterest here, first go through my recommendations having to do with setting up these product pages and customizing these product pages especially before you proceed on and do your pinning. Now, the reason why I recommend that, number one, has a lot to do with the actual titles. I highly recommend in my training that you go through and customize the Amazon content that is provided, add in your own unique content for those products, but I also recommend that you customize the titles of your product posts as well. As an example, this one here, Samsung Evo 850 parent, is not really realistic in terms of what the product actually is. That title is not the best title to possibly have for it. It is the Samsung 850 EVO, but the word parent ultimately is not going to help anybody find my product. It's actually the listing that lets people choose any one of the different sizes of these solid state drives that are available. So with that said, when I go and pin this to Pinterest, I'm actually going to be referring people to this page. And my title in particular is going to be a large part of what people see when they are on Pinterest. This is also going to affect whether or not my Pinterest page is able to garner any search rankings to help bring in some extra traffic to my Pinterest page, which will then help funnel in extra traffic to my website. So with that said, when you're customizing your products and your titles and your descriptions and everything, make sure you're focusing on not only what is going to make more sense to the customer, but also what makes sense in the eyes of a search engine. If I wanted people to be able to find this page or to be able to find my pin for this page based on this title, what words or keyword phrases do I need to make sure are included there? Samsung 850 EVO parent is not very descriptive. Samsung 850 EVO is the actual product, but it doesn't do anything as far as telling me what the product is more than just its name. So I could simply say solid state drives here, for example, and this will be much better than what I previously had. Now, obviously, this particular post here does not have any kind of content that goes along with it. This is just something I've created here to demonstrate to you the Pinterest features of Fresh Store Builder. But you would obviously want to be continuing on and adding your own custom content along with it. So now that I have set up my title, at the very least, this is when I would say it's okay to go in and do the Pinterest pin on that post. So I now have a much more customized title. This is not going to be a title used by other users of Fresh Store Builder. It's not going to be a title commonly used by even other Amazon affiliates potentially, simply because I have changed the title from what it was originally. Now, with some of the products that you search on here, once you have clicked on one and you get into this post to Pinterest page that you see on my screen, a lot of times you will have more than one image that you can choose from. This particular product, though, only has one, so I actually don't have to worry about selecting an image here. But in most cases, you will see a number of different images displayed. I believe this other one, here we go, has many more images with it. So as you can see, I could go through and look at all the different images and find one that's going to fit best with what it is I am trying to portray with this pin. If you look at the top here, though, this is a title that I haven't customized. This is a default title that is on this product on the Amazon website. And while it does contain a lot of descriptive words and keyword phrases that are going to be relevant to this product, ultimately, it's too much to really make a lot of sense to people. It's also maybe even overdoing it a little bit on using keyword phrases too much. For example, the model number here is actually repeated twice in the title. So just to give you an example of why you definitely need to be customizing these titles before you actually proceed and post these to Pinterest. So I'm going to be posting this particular one to Pinterest. You can see along with the title and the image, there are two more aspects that go along with each of these pins. One is a pin note, which is required. This is basically a description that's going to go along with the pin on the Pinterest website. So it should not only be a short summary of maybe the product or what the page is on your website, but it should also be trying to lead the people into clicking on your pin to actually go and visit your website to learn more. So you don't want to give them everything that they're looking for right here. You do want to kind of leave them in the dark slightly so they are more inclined to click over to your website. In addition to the note, though, you also have a board, and this is required as well. Now, if you have not created any boards as of this point, this is something, again, that you're going to have to do before you actually start to do these pins. It's pretty easy to do, though. You just go over to the My Boards page, and you just provide a name and a description for each of these boards. And once you have created them, you have an easy link to go and check it out on the Pinterest website. So I have not posted anything to this particular board yet. It's something I just created. So I will be using this to create my pin. So for this particular product, it's a solid state drive. I want to give people a little bit of information in this note. I also want to be providing some descriptive words in this note that could help with search engine rankings as well. But then I also want to be leading them onto my page, as I described to you before. So here I might say something like, one of the highest quality brands of SSDs is Samsung. And the 850 Evo line is among their most modern drives available. I'm also saying numerous size capacities. Are available. And I'm also saying, click to find out how Samsung Evo can drastically speed up your computer. So I'm giving a little bit of a description. I'm including some relevant words and phrases, especially maybe things that I haven't specifically said up here in my title. For example, I use the acronym for solid state drives down below instead of the full keyword phrase. I'm also trying to tease them into clicking on this. Here I'm saying click to find out how Samsung Evo can drastically speed up your computer. I'm talking about benefits of this product. I'm talking about things that I'm going to be talking about on the page of this product. And so I'm helping to lead them into my content, which would then help me lead them into a sale. And finally here, I am selecting my Samsung board to pin it to. Now you can schedule these pins. You can have this schedule happening on basically any kind of timing that you would like. You can set up maximum number of posts that will happen in a given day, and you can even restrict the amount of time that's happening in between each post and even the times of the day when these posts are occurring as well. So with that said, if you need to make any adjustments to this, you can go to Tools and change parameters. Finally, click on the Pinterest tab. You've been to this tab before to set up your Pinterest app information. And then down below, you have all of your settings that you can modify for it. So beyond these settings, everything else is controlled from this page. So scheduling it will schedule it based upon those settings that I was just showing you, or you can just go ahead and automatically pin it right away. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin mine right now so you can see this in action. I should be able to hop right on over here to my page and see now that it is automatically set up. This whole process here of creating these pins and posting them over to Pinterest, the main reason you would want to be doing this is for additional marketing for your website. My biggest recommendation is to keep your Pinterest board structured as much as you possibly can. For example, I have created this one account, this Pinterest account called Solid State Drives. This is going to be for the entire website that is covering solid state drives, but within that broad topic, I'm going to have a number of different subcategories. And these different subcategories I am creating into individual Pinterest boards. Again, these boards are created right here, my boards. So for this product, it's a Samsung solid state drive. And I will have other Samsung solid state drives that will be promoted on this same website. So I'm going to have a board for Samsung. And then I might have other boards, one for maybe SanDisk, one for Crucial, one for Intel. I may even have another board for solid state drive accessories or something to that nature. Beyond breaking it down into the different brands within your type of product, there are certainly other ways you could be structuring these different pins. It really is just going to depend on what kind of products you're promoting, how you have those products structured on your own website even may affect how it will be done on Pinterest. I will be having a number of different brand pages on my solid state drive website, and on each of those brand pages there will be a number of different products from that one brand. And so I can have a number of these different boards where I will have a selection of these products all within that one board. But again, it'll be grouped under my entire solid state drive Pinterest account. So this type of hierarchy, structuring, and organization goes a long way to helping you to attract more traffic, whether it is people searching through Pinterest to find you or people finding you through search engines such as Google. So before I conclude, just to give you a quick recap on my recommendations for you for using Pinterest, along with the Fresh Store Builder software, obviously. Number one is customize your products on your own website. This would be the descriptions and most especially the product titles. Next, make sure that you're creating some kind of organized structure of Pinterest boards. I'm using different brands of my type of product on mine. However, I could also be using maybe a more specific description of the type of product. For example, let's say there are a number of different kinds of solid state hard drives. I might then have a board for each of those different subtypes of these drives. And then each board would then be promoting a number of different products that relate to that. So whatever would work best for your website, for the products you're going to be promoting, create a number of different boards that will offer a structure to it. And then finally, you can go back in through the posts that you have created on your own website and pin them all to Pinterest. Make sure you're creating a decent, unique description to go along with it. You can see this is really the highlight of what is going to be seen on the Pinterest website, at least when somebody is viewing your entire board. So with that said, this right here, combined with the descriptions that you're providing for all the other pins that go on this one board, this is really what's going to determine whether or not you're getting people finding you by searching on Pinterest, or whether or not people are going to be able to find your board searching on Google. So all these different things combined will help you to organize all of your posts, help you to attract more traffic, which obviously is going to help you to refer more Amazon sales. If you have a lot of different products on your website, you could certainly use the scheduling feature in Fresh Store Builder so you space all of these out over time. However, if you're just creating a limited 20-page website or so to where you may only have 5 or 10 different products that you're actually going to be promoting on that website, you might just be able to go through and do all of your pins essentially at one time, or just as you are creating each of your posts. It's not going to make that big of a difference if you're only going to end up publishing 10 or 20 pins within one account. So depending on how you're building your website, how large it may be, the way you go about or the timing of those pins could vary from one person to the next.